Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and I'm not alone. I'm joined by the venerable, the wonderful, the enigmatic Felix.
What? I'm so used to Xeon being first. Hello, everyone.
And I'm also joined by Mr. Xeon.
Hey, it's me as well. Don't worry, Felix. This is never a ranking of our character. This is just how Alex decides to roll the dice.
Hey, yeah, that's how I do.
At least that's what I think. I could be wrong, but that's what I thought.
Yeah, you're bang on the money. And in case anyone's wondering, Xeon is not in his home studio at the moment, so his audio may not be quite as delicious as usual, but I'm sure his words will be just as succulent as they ever are. Anyway.
Oh, so thank you.
It is the end of the month, and we have been shuffling through the eShop trying to find some little hidden gems that you may not have noticed, may have passed you by, and we found one each. So we're going to talk to you about them. Xeon, why don't you kick us off?
Ooh, man, I'm so excited to talk about this one. I've been ready to talk about this for like an entire month, basically. So I really love RPGs. I don't feel like I always have the time to play them like I used to, just because of responsibilities and all these different games like coming out all the time that look fantastic and I also love a really good story. So this game, I think I first saw the review, actually. I didn't even like read the full review, but I saw it on our website. It was reviewed by Lowell Bell. He gave it a really nice score, and the game is called Meg's Monster. Yeah, so Meg's Monster is a turn-based RPG that you basically you're playing as this like big blue Hulk kind of like monster that is just like out hanging out in a cave with his buddy. And you're searching for this like purple goop that he loves to eat for some reason. And then suddenly like this little girl falls from this hole up in the sky, which I know doesn't really make sense, but it will. And she starts crying. And it just suddenly feels like the world is going to crumble. Like everything around you is dying. And you find out that when the girl cries, her like tears or the sound of her voice has the power to basically destroy the world. So you end up kind of going on this journey to keep her safe from other monsters, because this underground that she falls into is basically full of monsters, and monsters love to eat people, as most stories will tell you. So you need to keep her safe from all these monsters, but you're also trying to get her back home in turn. And yeah, it's a really cute and very heartfelt RPG from what I've played so far. I put it down a couple weeks ago for one thing or another. I think I was playing Bayonetta Origins and a few other things, and I haven't gone back to finish it yet. But like I was saying, Lowell reviewed it on the site, gave it a really nice score. We can put the link in the comments down below, so that way you actually go check and read his review if you want. But the turn-based battles as well are pretty simple and straightforward. There aren't random battles to encounter, so
they look a bit Pokemon-y from the trailer that you shared.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up, because there's nothing really else Pokemon about this game. Like there's no catching of monsters or anything like that. But yeah, it does really look like that, doesn't it? Like the perspective and everything.
Yeah. It looks nice.
I'm glad you like it.
I love what's being achieved, like with the simple art style. It seems like there's so much care put into what colors have been used and how the creatures has been like made out in this pixels art style. And I'm a sucker for pixel art, so this looks really nice.
I'm glad you think so too, because the characters are so expressive, and since every battle in the game is basically a boss battle, you don't have that tedium of encountering random battles, and the battle system is very simple too. You have like an attack and a defend, and then as you play the game, Meg will find different toys, and the toys you can use in battle as well, and those will give you it's kind of like using magic almost. And I've definitely cried at least once. And if anyone thinks that's dumb, then you should just let your feelings out, bruh.
If anyone thinks that's dumb, then they're dumb.
Well, yeah. they might just have some. They might just need to,
play this game.
Yeah, play this game, and maybe it'll teach you something about yourself that you didn't realize. Or that you didn't know. That's pretty much Meg's Monster in a nutshell. I don't want to talk about the story, because I think the story is one of the best parts of the game so far, and there's quite a few surprises from even just the little I've played.
Do you know how long the game is, approximately?
I haven't looked into it, because that's something that I don't always like to know. but I do know that
okay.
it's short. It's not
Nice.
going to take you very, very long. So I will just say that.
Do you know what else is short? Not Felix.
Nice.
I think
True.
Felix is the tallest of all of us. What's your game?
My game is, well, it's not the most niche title. I did have a more niche game that I thought, oh, I'm just going to do this. And then I played it and I didn't like it. So I chose a game that I was already going to play, and I think that it needs a second shout because it came out. I don't see a lot of people talking about it, and it's Have a Nice Death. So I got it. Yeah. This game is it's really awesome. It's kind of like a mixture of, if you take the art style of Hollow Knight and you have the 2D like hand-drawn art style, and then you mix it with Hades, because this is a 2D action roguelike. In this game, you play as Death, who is the CEO of this Death company. The company that that kills everyone, basically.
Yeah, of course.
The company that organizes death.
Exactly. And
Do they profit as well? Sorry, go ahead.
I have no idea, but
I think it's obviously a non-profit, Xeon. Come on.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So it's like, from the intro cutscene, it has this amazing intro cutscene, and it's like it tells the story of like when Death first starts on this, and then he gets more and more bored, and then he sets servants out to do his bidding. But these servants go rogue after some time, and now Death has to go out and, put them in their place. He was just stuck doing paperwork, and that was becoming very boring, so he's trying to come out of that burnout. And I haven't played much. I've completed the first major boss, and I've reached the second part, but as you know, with a roguelike, you die over and over again. So it's you come to the final boss and then you die, and then you have to go through all that again. But luckily, when you play it over and over again and level up, you get this special door, so you can just go to that boss immediately, so you don't have to go through it every single time, which I just thought was really lovely, because in Hades, you have to go all the way from the start, and some may like that. For Hades it works, but for this game it's just really nice to have that option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm getting some real Hollow Knight vibes from this as well, and I know both of you love that. I just fell off Hollow Knight in a strange way. I should really go back, but does it feel kind of like that too, Felix?
There's there's a lot of dialogue. Well, when you talk to NPCs and stuff, and it's very funny. The comedy here is just, I think, is really well written, and I have some small complaints here and there, and it's the game throws a lot at you at first, a lot of controls, and I was a bit overwhelmed, but as soon as I got the grips of it, it felt really nice. And that's when you know where every control is and what they do, because there's so many different weapons to choose from and spells to cast. It just works really well, and it's very satisfying to battle out these battles, and it's hard. It's a very hard game, and I've done multiple times in that first boss, so when I finally beat him, I was very, very happy. And it doesn't use a lot of colors initially, but then you reach to the second world, and then it looks completely different, new colors, so it's just really nice that they keep it fresh, just like that.
Yeah, it looks like all of your weapons are sort of the things, and the enemies themselves are what make up the color, and that looks like a really nice contrast.
Exactly, and I do have to mention the soundtrack. It's so well put together. You have everything from the main theme, which is ooh, that sort of thing, and then you also have the way that Death goes from room to room is with an elevator. So every time you've defeated one of the rooms and need to go to the next one, you have this really nice elevator music, which has already gotten stuck in my head. And the performance is also good. It only stutters when the elevator loads up, and then when you get out of that, it runs really smoothly. At least from, I don't know if later down the road, I haven't completed the game, if it starts stuttering here and there, but from what I've played, it runs really smooth. And that's just really nice for in a game like this.
I've been tempted by this game for a long time now, and I'm really pleased to hear that it's good, because it's ticking a lot of boxes for me. You can clearly see that there's some Hollow Knight inspiration, not masses, but I mean, it's hardly surprising. It's one of the most influential.
It doesn't feel like Hollow Knight at all, because it is a roguelike. It's a completely different game than a Metroidvania.
More visually in its style.
Yeah. True.
But that's no bad thing. I love the style of Hollow Knight, and
Hollow Knight
yeah,
has the best style.
it really does.
That's, if anyone is sitting there, that's like the biggest compliment you can get if it's like anything like Hollow Knight. But Alex, do you have a game? Maybe it's like Hollow Knight, maybe it isn't. I'm just here to hear it.
It's quite a lot like Hollow Knight.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the game I've been playing is I don't get the title. It's called Zappling Bygone. And
Okay.
the Zappling bit, I get. You know, you are playing as something called a Zappling. I don't know how Bygone links into it, but basically, you play as this small sort of like glob from a mothership that is dropping down onto this planet, this uncharted planet, and you're just there to try and work out why there's, you know, all this life here, what's going on. You find that there's an infection, and it's got some really exceptionally good ideas in here that I think are just absolutely genius. It doesn't always fully utilize them to the best of their ability, I feel, but when it does utilize them, it's bliss. So basically, you're this sort of amorphous blob, and you have to like collect skulls in order to be able to do anything. In order to be able to move properly and communicate, you have to be using the skull of something dead. Most skulls throughout history are from dead things. So you start off with a very basic one, and you start acquiring more skulls as you go through. But there are instances where the skulls will talk to you. You'll find these areas, and the dead, sort of the spirit of the dead thing, will be talking back to you, and you'll be learning about their sort of their history, you know, sort of how they died and things like that. You'll actually get instances where you'll be wearing one skull, and then another skull will come out and start talking to you, and you only ever instigate those instances, but it is like you're having conversations with the dead, and a lot of the time they're dead because you've killed them, but only because they've attacked you. It wears its Hollow Knight inspiration on its sleeves, like your whole day to recharge your health, and you gain the power to recharge your health by attacking enemies and things like that. You wear various modifiers that adjust the way that your attacks work and things like that. Different skulls unlock different abilities, like climbing on walls, a double jump, all that sort of thing. And also you can find one, I think it's a secret skull, which is actually a volleyball.
Halo reference?
With it's a volleyball with a handprint on it, which is obviously a reference to Castaway.
I'm sure.
And it's really good fun. It does have some issues here and there. As I say, it doesn't fully utilize all of its excellent ideas, but when it does it brilliantly. Like if you're wearing the skull of the Rat King, no rat enemies will attack you, and instead will get little hearts by them when you go near them. And it's adorable. And you get all the different skulls allow you to equip different things. It's great fun. It's got some difficulty in it, to say the least, but it never feels unfair, except for in one chase sequence, which I just felt wasn't really my cup of tea. But I was enthralled by this game. I really was.
This seems really good. Like, maybe from a glance you could see, this is just like another like just title like quickly put together. But the way you explain like how you talk with the dead of the skulls that you have to wear to even function, that just seemed like really original, and I really like that idea.
This kind of reminds me a tiny bit of that game that Devolver put out like a couple of years ago called Carrion or something like that, where you you play as this little like monster, and you slowly like grow and eventually like consume everything, or at least it seems. And I know that isn't really the focus, but I'm just getting like really eerie vibes from this. But it also, it's weird how it has like, it's charming at the same time, and has like kind of like creepy cute boss battles. And it almost looks like something that you would have seen on like, I feel like I would have played this on a PC back in like 1998 or something like that. Or maybe even, or probably before that actually, I guess if I would have played a PC back then. But yeah, it looks very old fashioned, but it has so much going on at the same time. It's pretty cool.
I don't want to spoil too much, but at first it looks like you're on like a dead planet, and then you find out that there are rats on it, and you sort of think, oh, okay, it's just a few animals, scraggly animals left behind. But then you find out that actually the rats are sentient, and the rats are sentient, and they lived alongside humans, and you sort of think, oh, the humans are dead then, but you find out the rats work together with the humans, and they started digging mines and stuff. I believe it doesn't like spell a lot out, and then you find out that no, humans are still going. And you just, every time you have this sort of like this preconceived notion about the game, it's like, no, there are people. And you like find a guy who's just like painting, and he's like, haha, I'd like to paint you. And it's just, it really catches you off guard. It's great fun. I really like it. And then you also find out that there's like artificial intelligence on the planet as well. Yeah, every time you think you've got it nailed down, it throws you for a loop.
So this game reminds me a bit of another game that a friend recommended to me called Rain World, and I don't know, it was just something about the movement of the character that reminded me a bit like...
there's the sort of the fluid pixel animation, as it were.
Exactly, yeah, and I really like that. And yeah, it just seems like a good game that I'm not sure I will check it out because it seems a bit scary. I'm not all for scary games, but
it's not scary. It's unnerving and
okay.
interesting and a little bit melancholic at times. And there you have it. Those are 3 games that we think you should give a little look into that may have passed you by, because the eShop, it gets an awful lot of blooming games released on it, doesn't it? And if no one else is going to curate it, we might as well. But let us know what you think of these games. Did you find a hidden gem? Let us know in the comments down below. And thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you split that subscribe button into 3. And be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.
I wonder what our other 2 channels would be if we split our subscribe button into 3.
Push Square and Pure Xbox.
Oh, yeah.